Hi, and welcome to another episode of Frankly Aretha. This is episode 12, which I call All Roads Lead to Gnome. Materials were purchased from the dollar store, Temu, and Costco, and the total cost of everything was $40.53. This is what we're going to try to copy. This is what I made. And okay, for this project, I used the 14-inch wreath frame, one package of decorative mesh, one stem of red poinsettias, and one stem of white poinsettias, and also 4 pipe cleaners. I also used 7 packs of clear balls, 2 strands of black garland, 1/2 pack of the black and white buffalo plaid poinsettias, and 1 sign. Dremel tool, box knife, glue gun, finger protectors, my glue skillet, wire cutters. Okay, I start with my mesh and I use one to hold the mesh in place and I wrap it around and glue it. Once I do that, I find my top, I poke a hole in the mesh, and I push the jute twine from the top to the bottom and tie a double knot on the back. I push it through the mesh to make it neat and tidy. I do the same thing on the other side, and I make sure my knots are on the other side of the frame because I want to make sure that it supports that. From here, I am going to glue down one piece of the black garland that I got from Temu, and note that I was able to use half of it on my earlier wreath and half of it on this wreath, which did make the total cost, it seems a little high, but I was able to make 2 wreaths out of a lot of the flowers and the garland. So like I said, I just used one little piece of hot glue to start, and then I just loosely wrapped it around, and when I was done, I glued it in place. I want to make sure that the end is on the back side. I take my next piece and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. A little bit of glue, hot glue on the back, and I hold it in place. Next up, I am going to take the balls. I take the top off. I find the mesh. Sometimes it's a little difficult in the garland. And I cut a hole, put a little dollop of hot glue at the top of the ball, and I push it into the mesh. And as you can see, I'm alternating. Every other one is the white, and every other one is the translucent one. I will alternate that as I get to the inside because they sent way more of the clear than they did of the white. I also had 1 pack of the darker colors that have almost like a smoky color. I thought that was going to be the entire wreath. That's what I used on the other one. So that is one difference, is the wreath does have, this one's primarily with the lighter ones. One of the other differences I did, the other ones I glued the balls together so that the flowers are more on the outside. Here, as you can see, there's space between them, and I didn't glue the balls together. They're in there pretty sturdy. I put the flowers in between them, so that is one difference. And please let me know what you think, if you like the different way of showing it. You see the balls in this case a lot more. You can see here I had an uneven number, but I went ahead and did that anyhow. And here what I had done is I wrapped 2 pipe cleaners together. I found the top of the wreath form and I kind of just wrapped it around itself and hot glued it. The reason I did this is I did this to kind of force my sign to be a little more elevated. Now, Temu gave us 2 holes. I did drill 2 using my hand Dremel tool ahead of time. I will cut about 6 inches of floral wire and feed it through there. I find the top of my wreath and I use that floral wire. I push it through the top of that and I fasten it in the back. I make sure that I do hot glue it on the sign if I can, and then trim it. This was a little tricky working through the garland. I think next time if I do this, I will probably attach the sign and then do the garland. Now I pre-made this bow. There are people who make tutorials on bows way better than I do. Maybe someday I'll be there. But I did want to just sort of have it ready to go so I could place the flowers around it, because there's nothing I hate more than having my wreath be perfect and I end up losing the have to pull something out because the bow is too big. Now here you see me wrapping one strand of lights that I got from Temu, and I got 10 of them for like $5 or something like that. So they're incredibly lightweight, which is what I really like about them, and they just sort of fasten in the back. Now I am taking some of the red and the white buffalo plaid flowers from the Dollar Tree, and I fill it in the other ones. Originally I had something else I was going to use here, and I did not like the way it looked. They're in the other wreath, but I did have these little squiggles that came on the picks that I did not end up using, and I thought it looked very nice here. So here is the original. Here's, you see the red balls that I was going to use. Here's the wreath I just made. The difference is being the balls on the top were smoky gray and the bottom ones are more clear. And I have the little squiggles. So let me know what you like. Each one is lit. And thank you for watching all of season 1. Join us in January for season 2.